up, guys? Hello and welcome back to 30 Years of Pain, the real gaming history with yet another special. Well, I mean, just with like the classic consoles, there's one thing I kind of wanted to leave out of the timeline because it's kind of like its own thing, and quite frankly, it's not so near and dear to me. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking about handhelds. Now, in the first part, I've already talked about the Game Boy, and I want to talk a little bit about it again, but I just, that's the only handheld I mentioned so far, because it was my first console, because it was my first video game thing that I owned myself. Now the thing about the Game Boy is, I got this thing when I was like 5 or 6 years old, but talking overall, I mean, the Game Boy it's the thing. It's the creator of handhelds. Maybe not the creator, maybe there was something before that. I'm not a gaming historian. But it was definitely the most popular. So as far as games goes for this thing, of course, like I said, I had Mario Land and Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, which both were amazing. But at the time, I was a kid. I was 6 years old, and I didn't have magazines. I certainly didn't have internet to look up what's good. Licensed games was like the big thing I got on this. And I was a kid that enjoyed watching Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles on TV. So obviously the games I got were Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. Luckily, these games were pretty good back then on the Game Boy. It's not like the licensed trash we got these days, but man, the free Ninja Turtles games they had, everybody's like, oh, the first one was kind of lame. Fuck it, it was great. I loved it. And again, Power Rangers, the movie, and Power Rangers, the game that was just called Power Rangers, I both liked them. And still today, I occasionally pop them in and it's like, yeah, this is not bad. And I also had Darkwing Duck, which was by Capcom, and it was a port of the NES. That was the other thing about the Game Boy. You got a lot of NES ports, which sometimes weren't so good, and other times they were just as good, or almost just as good, of course without color and stuff. But, I mean, Darkwing Duck was basically kind of like Mega Man, with different powers and stuff. It was great. And I got Battletoads because the fuck at the store was like, I want a Turtles game for the Game Boy, and he was like, here's Battletoads. That's not Turtles, it's the same thing. I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I got Battletoads for Game Boy. It's still hot as shit. And then, of course, at the end of the lifespan, when we all thought the Game Boy was done, it was over, there was a new day, there was new things on the horizon, out came Pokemon. And it was like, hey, remember this old fucking thing? It's gonna skyrocket to the moon once more, thanks to Pokemon. And I'm not talking about Pokemon Go or anything. Everybody like Pokemon Go these days. I played this fucking Pokemon. I played them all. And that was where it started, of course. Red and blue, yellow, and, the rest. And it was the first time I played an RPG, actually. I had never played an RPG before. I didn't really know what it was. Because out here in Europe, the Final Fantasies never came out on Super Nintendo. And I think RPGs existed, but that was the first time I saw one. That was the first fucking time I saw one. And I didn't really know what it was. I just thought, oh, this is new, this is interesting. Moving on to the Game Boy Color. I don't have a Game Boy Color anymore. Well, my sister still has it. I had like the smoke purple. I mean, the Game Boy Color looks basically like this. It's just smaller. And I mean, they also made a Game Boy Pocket, which I never had. I only have the brick. But I'm just gonna move that to the side not to confuse you. But the Game Boy Color was exactly that. It was a Game Boy with color. There was nothing else about it. And what do I gotta say about the Game Boy Color? I mean, it had nothing to offer, quite frankly. I'm sorry if you're like a hardcore Game Boy Color fan, but I didn't see the point. You got like more of the same games, now with color. Woo! And I didn't really have anything on it. I had like Super Mario Bros. DX, again, just the same Mario, well, the NES Mario, now on Game Boy, with color. Of course, the only thing worth mentioning on Game Boy Color to me is Pokemon. Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And that's the only generation where I only had one, and that was Gold. But why did I only have one if I just talked about how great Pokemon was? Well, At the time Gold and Silver came out, I was in high school, and it was that weird part in history where it's like, oh, when Pokemon came out, we all played it. Everybody played it, even though we already were in high school. But a couple of months later, or like a year later, it's like, it's for kids. So you play Pokemon? You're a stupid idiot. Grow up. And thinking back, it's so fucking retarded when 14-year-olds talk about growing up. We were all fucking teens. So, yeah, whatever. But that was the one time in my life where I was not above the influence. Because it was like, okay, well, I mean, it's not cool to play Pokemon anymore. So I'm not gonna play it anymore, even though I won it. And I still got gold, and I hit it, so nobody could see it. And sad times. Don't do that. If you want to play a game, just play the game. Fuck everybody else. I'm so mad. I wish I could time travel back to my 14-year-old self and slap myself in the face and say to myself, just play fucking Pokemon. Who cares about the rest? But yeah, moving on to the Game Boy Advance. This thing, I still have all of that in here. I'll just leave that in. It's the Game Boy Advance, the first version, and it's fucking shit. The Game Boy Advance itself isn't shit, but this version is trash. This version is fucking garbage. Throw it away. No, I'm gonna keep it. So I got the Game Boy Advance when it came out on June 22nd in Europe. With Super Mario, of course. Which one was it? Like the Super Mario... They just call it Super Mario Advance. It was actually Super Mario 2, which was actually Doki Doki no Panic, or whatever it's called. And I got like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and I think that was it. Yeah. And the thing about this, going back to the stupid bit wars that nobody talks about anymore, this thing was like 32 bits, and in my head I was like, well, that's like a PlayStation, it's gonna play like a PlayStation. No. So I still remember being disappointed, but looking back, of course, it was stupid. And the GBA was still fine. Just not this one. Fuck it. Get that one. The GBA SP. That's the best fucking redesign Nintendo has ever done. Why is this one shit? Well, first of all, it's not protected, so it's gonna have scratches. It has a little bit, even though I usually took care of my things. But the main problem was, the screen is dark as shit. And it's reflecting off so badly. I remember the struggle sitting somewhere in a restaurant where there wasn't a lot of light, and I was just like, I can't see shit. Get this thing. That was like, okay. First of all, it's super compact. You can put it in your pocket and everywhere. It's not like really shaped. It's perfect. You put it up. You have the screen. The screen is lit. You have like a little extra button for the background lights, and it doesn't reflect as much. So I'm so glad I got this one, and I got this one for free actually. Well, for free. They had that one in the Shady store I mentioned in a couple of other videos, where at the time they were like, collect points, buy shit, collect points, and then get a GBA. And at the time I was buying quite a lot from that store, and I was bothering all my friends who were like, come on, what are you gonna do with a GBA anyway? And you'll never have enough points. Look at me, I'm the point king. Give your points to the king, you pleb. Well, yeah, the best thing about the GBA was the fact that we got a lot of Super Nintendo remakes, and Super Nintendo still, to this day, probably the best, one of the best consoles out there. So we got the Mario games, the first time Mario Kart on a handheld as well. And what else? We got like Metroid Zero Mission. There was a lot of else. I can't really think of it right now, but basically there was a lot of Super Nintendo games coming to this thing. Other than Pokemon, the GBA also started a different trend. Yu-Gi-Oh games! Yay! Yes, at the time I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and I wanted the cards, and you always had special cards with the games. And the games itself were okay. It was just like, you get like every year like an update just with more cards and whatnot. One like championship game every year, where it's just basically just card game. Card game. And then in between that, you always had a story Yu-Gi-Oh game though. And those were cool. The only problem with those were, they were unfair as fuck. I mean, main problem being the thing, you start the game and you have crap cards. Okay, that's been in every game. Every Yu-Gi-Oh! Always you start with nothing. You have to collect and get better and get good and get good cards to move on. The problem with the story games was your opponents had super awesome combo decks. Well, maybe not the best combo decks, but they had cards where you were already like, what? Raigeki? Mirror Force? What am I supposed to do about that? Nothing. I just have crap. I have Dark Magician. That's not a good card. Even if you're just like somebody who just watched the show and but the Dark Magician is awesome. No, it's not. It's not. Jesus. GBA was also the turnaround for Pokemon because I just got him again. I still remember the day when I went out and I got Ruby and Sapphire and I came home and one of my friends was here and I just took him out the bag and he was like, what's this? Is that Pokemon? I'm like, shut up! Shut your fucking mouth! I can play whatever I want! That's right, motherfucker. That's right. I don't care. That was like the time when I was just like, fuck you guys. I'm playing Pokemon. Have a problem with it? Fuck you. Get out. Leave. There's the door. Moving on to the DS, which I've customized a little bit. I had a little bit of drawing on it with random Payne, random Skull, and Kazumi. Why Kazumi? I don't know. Why not? It's fucking Kazumi. I love her. Look at this. You see that? You see that? Yeah, that's my shrine. So, and you got like more art inside. I like to draw. Blah. So the DS was the next big step, and quite frankly, it was interesting at first. It was, I mean, I say at first, but no, it is interesting. It's an interesting thing that Nintendo came up with. So I got mine on launch day, March 11, 2005, right here in Europe. And I got it with Super Mario DS, Super Mario 64 DS, Wario Rare, and Asphalt Urban GT, a racing game, which is pretty good. But yeah, the big thing was WarioWare, of course, because it was like the first game that really took advantage of the touchscreen. And people now go back and it was like, oh, the games are stupid and whatnot. But it was perfect. It was perfect, first of all, to use the touchpad in a simple manner, in a simple but fun manner. And also the games were short and sweet, so it was the perfect thing to just put in your DS, play a couple of rounds in the bus or in the train just for a couple of minutes. But other than that, like, the touchpad really didn't shine through. There were a couple of games that used it wisely, but for the most part it was one of these things where you played WarioWare, where you played, I mean, Pokemon, you can control that even though it still works with the buttons and everything. The only game that really, I mean, not the only game, but one of the games that really made it happen was Ninja Gaiden. I don't remember the full title. It's because Ninja Gaiden, and here's the DS Lite or SP, or I don't remember the updated version. It doesn't even say. Fuck it, I don't remember. But the thing about Ninja Gaiden was that you didn't hold the DS like that. You were holding it like this because you were actually controlling Ryu with the touchpad over here, and you had like a map and everything over there. So, and it worked well. It worked very fucking well. I even put it in before making this video just to look at it real quick again, and I gotta say, I was impressed. I was like, okay, yeah, it worked. It was good. It was fine. It was perfect. So other than that, the DS was of course with the staples, the Mario games, the Mario Karts. I continued buying every Yu-Gi-Oh game for the cards and also playing the game. Of course, Pokemon continued on. I don't really need to say much about it. I could do a special about Pokemon, like seriously. The good thing, I finally got to play as a whole Soul Silver and Heart Gold, because I kind of skipped on Gen 2 back in the day, and of course on GBA, Fire Red and all that. I really like that. I honestly like that they're bringing those back in a better way. Because quite frankly, especially for the old ones, I mean, Gen 1 Pokemon on Gen 1 Game Boy is not fun anymore. I played it back then, but god damn it, the system was ancient. The system of the The entire overlay, just like you don't know when to level up, you don't have a lot of information on screen, and all these little things that they improved on so much. But yeah, the DS also gave birth to my favorite Pokemon generation, which is Gen 5. Black and White. Just, they have the best Pokemon, they have like so many, and that was the time when I also moved into competitive, so that was like the big shift. During Gen 5, I started playing competitively a little bit, not that much, but looking back on it, that generation brought in so many new powerful beasts. The last thing worth mentioning on the DS was a little game called Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans, developed by, I think, Monolith is the name. I'm not a hardcore RPG player, but I think Monolith are pretty big. If you haven't played it, if you haven't heard about it, go look it up. I could sing its praises for the next 20 minutes, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna mention it because it's amazing. Alright, and now we get to the part where handheld gaming died for me, pretty much, quite frankly. Not because of handheld gaming itself getting stale, but just me getting bored of it. This is the 3DS, and this is the last handheld I bought, and this might be the last handheld I ever buy. Well, maybe not. No. As long as they keep making Pokemon, they'll get me back. I know, I'm a sucker for that shit. Don't judge me. And as you can tell, I got the 3DS with the Pokemon on it. And then I got another one. Yeah, I kind of thought this one was broke. I thought I broke this one when I cleaned the screen a little bit too hard, and it was like all fucked up. And then I bought another one, but a couple of weeks later I looked at this one and the screen had recovered, and then I had two. I wish I had a blue one instead of two red ones. Anybody want to trade? But yeah, I mean, I didn't get the 3DS on launch. I got like all the previous ones I mentioned except for the original Game Boy. I didn't get that one on launch, and I don't think I got the Game Boy Color on launch. But GBA and DS, I got those on launch. I was hyped for those. But by the time the 3DS rolled around, I was just like, I don't really care anymore. I think it was the time when I kind of got out of school, and I had a car, I didn't ride the bus, I didn't need to ride the train. And at the point, I just got to the point where I was like, why do I need a handheld when I'm sitting at home and I have all the other consoles, every goddamn console I ever wanted? Why would I want to sit at home and play on one of these? I only got this one because of Pokemon, of course. Because of goddamn motherfucking X and Y. And I only got it when X and Y came out, and I only got like the special edition. I also got Star Fox, but that was, I think that's pretty much it. I just bought Dead or Alive Dimensions a couple of minutes ago on eBay because I just thought like, Dead or Alive, I should get that for the collection. I got it for 15 bucks. I was like, okay, so that's coming. Dead or Alive Dimensions, and of course, the 3D is shit. I'm sorry, I don't care. I mean, it's not shit, it's okay done, but I don't care about it. Even with the new 3DS, the 3D effects are a lot better, but it's still like, I don't care for these gimmicks, I'm sorry. With the DS, you had something with the touchpad, but with this one, the 3D, But wait, there's one more. It's a PSP. What? It's an old fucking regular ass PSP. And I kept that for last because save the best for last. Yeah, save the best for last. No, I mean, the PSP is, I don't even know. It's not terrible. It's just one of these things. So, I mean, first of all, I got this one on launch as well, even though I feel like that's a joke now. But it's true. I pre-ordered this thing, and I went to the store, and I was like, yay, PSP! And I got Darkstalkers with it, and Ridge Racer, and fucking, yeah, Darkstalkers, hell yeah. I don't know, I didn't have any interest in it after 6 months of something like that. The main problem with the PSP is, you know, just like every other Sony console that started off, you don't have the brands that Nintendo has. Nintendo always attracts, because if you're buying a Nintendo console, you know the good games are going to be the Marios and the Zeldas, if you still care about that, even though, you know, for me, I kind of stopped caring about those games. But I'm just saying, the point is, you have the brands, and Sony doesn't really have their own brands. They get other people's brands, and that's okay. But I think that was problem number one. Problem number two was they handled this like a PlayStation, like a home console. And I mentioned before how the DS was so great with WarioWare because you had the little thing with the touchpad and all, and it was short, it was sweet, and that's the thing. That's what Nintendo had a lot more on the DS and other handhelds. A lot more smaller games where you just sit down for 5 minutes, you play it for 5 minutes, and it's done. The PSP tried to do a lot bigger stuff, a lot greater scope. Like I said, like you're playing a PS2 game. Even though you weren't playing a PS2 game, you're playing this on the road. And I get it. They still tried, you know, like Metal Gear Acid, but then you got like GTA Liberty City Stories, which I had. That was another game I got. And just like, you're sitting there and you're playing a mission, and that mission takes like half an hour or so. And that doesn't really work well. I know, you can just turn it off and turn it back on later. You know, no, don't make the hard turn off, or what was it again? I don't remember how it works. But it's just, you want to play that whole entire thing, but it's not built for you to play quickly unless you're MLG Pro or whatever. I don't like emulators and modding, but that was the only thing I did with this thing. Like everybody, I mean, let's be honest here. Everybody and their mother who has a PSP put emulators on there, and I did the same thing. So I got like the NES, what's it called again? Whatever. The NES emulator that probably everybody runs because it's amazing. And then I got a Super Nintendo emulator that doesn't run so well. And I tried to put on a Neo Geo emulator, which didn't work at all. And that was it. And I didn't really play a lot with it. That was just the thing. Now I had some games I could play for 5 minutes and turn the thing off if I didn't want to play anymore. And that's it. Those are all the handhelds I got. I don't have Virtual Boy. I mean, everybody needs a Virtual Boy in their life, but I'm sorry. I just don't like it. And that's gonna be it. Thank you very much for watching. Again, just another special. Next time we're finally gonna move on to the final part, I think, unless I remember something I forgot, but I think not. I think I can finally move on to Xbox One and PS4, the current generation, where the series will end, because we're at the here and now then. So don't forget, you can show your support, leave a like or not, and subscribe or not. I'm here anyway. You're not getting rid of me. No. All right. Goodbye.